So in this module of my free e-commerce email marketing course that I'm putting together for my YouTube channel, we're going to talk about how to create a high converting welcome series flow. So here's my promise to you for this video. So we'll cover the 2 problems e-com brands are facing in 2025, then why is a strong welcome series flow so important, and then we're going to talk about how to do it, a step-by-step guide, and how to create it with a few examples. Now, here's a little bit about me if that's what you want to know. If not, let's talk about the 2 problems. Now, this document is going to be linked in the description, first link in the description. You can just go get it, click the link, open it up. No need to give me your email, no need to opt in for newsletter, anything like that. You can just go get it, take information, take inspiration, whatever you need. Now, problem number 1 is the CAC problem, as we already talked about. Now, if you're relying heavily on paid ads at the moment, your business is probably way less profitable than it was a couple of years ago because ad costs went up, right? So the only thing you can do to combat that is to raise your prices. The problem with that is that you can only raise your prices so much. You can't really raise them to infinity, but the ad costs can potentially go to infinity. It can really, right? But still, at some point, it will become a problem too because you will have 2 options. You can either keep raising prices or you can go out of business. Those are the only 2 things you can do, right? On the other hand, email marketing is as cheap as it was 10 years ago. Like the only cost that could have changed is like Klaviyo subscription and maybe the salary you have to pay someone if you have someone in-house or an agency, whatever that you have to pay to get them to manage your email marketing. But still, it's nothing compared to the actual ad spend that went up, right? Because especially brands that are spending like hundreds of thousands and millions a month, paying an agency $5K a month, and then, I don't know, paying a Klaviyo subscription $5K a month is nothing, right? So it's also the best way to acquire and retain customers. So you still need paid ads to get people into your funnel. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should turn off your ads. I'm just saying that email marketing and paid ads are different marketing channels that should be used in different stages of the funnel. So your paid ads are used at the top of your funnel, and then your email marketing is used at the bottom of your funnel to convert people, right? That's the idea. So if you learn, sorry about that, how to switch, how to use them properly, right? How to use them for what they're meant to be used, you're going to be able to be way more profitable and you're going to lower your CAC. So what's the problem with high CAC? So the LTV to CAC ratio is a key business metric to compare a customer's total lifetime value, LTV, to the cost of acquiring them, CAC, right? So this is from Google, right? I'm not pulling this out of my ass or something like that. This is literally a definition from Google. So with the formula being LTV divided by CAC. By the way, if you know Alex Hormozi, you'll probably know that he talks about this a lot. If you don't know who that is, the guy's worth like 500 million at this point or something like that. So he knows about business, some things, right? So a high ratio, like 3 to 1 or more, indicates a profitable and sustainable business model showing strong ROI on sales and marketing efforts. So the idea is that you want to have at least 3 to 1. So basically, if you spend $100, your CAC is $100 to acquire a customer, you want to make at least $300 over time from that customer. Now, that is like in theory, and that is not really true. Ideally, you actually want way more than that, especially in e-com, right? Where you're like, you have a lot of competition, margins are getting thinner and thinner, all that. You want more like 10 to 1 or 20 to 1, right? And with ads, you can't really achieve that. But with email, you can, because email marketing has an average ROI of like 44x, which means that for every dollar you put in, you get 44 out. And then at that point, with your ad that have more like 3x ROI, 3x return on your investment, then you can even out and get to that like 10 to 1 LTV to CAC ratio, for example. Also, the thing with email is the fact that it's not like the idea behind this is that your LTV will go up because email is a really good retention mechanism, really good retention marketing channel because it's going to drive your LTV up because with email, you have them on your list and over time, people are going to buy multiple types from you, which means that your LTV will go up and that CAC goes down. So we go LTV up, CAC down, the ratio goes up, everyone's happy, everything's great, right? Problem number 2, higher trust threshold. The second problem is the fact that skepticism is at an all-time high. That means that people have been burned before many times. Like someone has ordered something online, if right broken, it was shit, it never arrived, whatever. People have been burned before. They don't want to experience it again. So it takes way more time to actually convince someone to buy something from you. People are way more cautious, way more careful when buying stuff online. So it takes way more time. The sales cycles are way longer. So it takes, as I said, way more time to convince someone to actually give you money. So as I said, that's why people have a hard time trusting you and buying from you, and how you can overcome that, we're going to talk about in a minute. I'm going to give you a simple trick. It's super simple, super easy, not very logical. It's more like illogical based on emotion, but it works, right? So the importance of a welcome flow. Lowering CAC, that's the first problem we had. Now we're going to talk about its solution. As we agreed already, email marketing is your number 1 tool to combat rising ad costs and stay profitable. And that's exactly why I need a strong welcome flow. Because welcome flow is literally the first email, like the first email in the welcome flow is the first email someone gets from you when they sign up to your email list, right? And they can do that through a pop-up form. By the way, we talked about how to create a high converting pop-up form in the previous module. You can go watch it right now. The card will pop up. So go click, watch the video. It's really, really good. Now, studies said that it takes people 7 seconds to form an opinion about you, what they do when they first see you, right? Based on the first impression they get. Now, 7 seconds is not really a lot of time, as you would agree, probably. The problem is that you don't get even 7 seconds. 7 seconds is something you get maybe when you meet someone in person. When you send someone an email about your brand and it's not even coming from you, it's more like a designed email, which is a common practice in eComm, right? You probably get more like 2 seconds, 3 seconds maybe, right? Because first of all, people are kind of like in zombie mode when they're checking their inboxes, when they're checking their emails. It's not really like they're sitting there consciously evaluating. You're like, okay, he's tall and he's like built well, but he does not have long hair or something like that. It's more like Okay, email, boom, email, okay, whatever. So if your email is like boring, mediocre, if it doesn't really capture someone's attention immediately, it's going to get just closed and move them to the next one. So as I said, if your email is boring, mediocre, people are just going to register maybe 0% of it, maybe 5% of it, they're just going to close it. So even if you have like an amazing website, amazing ads, amazing platform, all that, you're just going to ruin the experience of being on your email list. People are going to unsubscribe. People are not going to keep opening your emails. They're just going to leave your email list or just never come back, never buy anything new. And that's not what you want, because as I said, email marketing has an average ROI of 44x, which means that you put $1 in, you get 44 out, which is a great deal, but only if done correctly. And I'm going to teach you how to do it correctly. Now, how to cross the trust threshold, that was the problem number 2. As I promised, I'm going to uncover a simple trick to cross the trust threshold and get someone to buy. Now, you can do that by showing people testimonials and trusted by sections, like trusted by UFC and stuff like that, and media features and whatever, like your 5-star reviews and all of that stuff. You can do that, and that's something you will do in your emails. But more importantly is actually the exposure/familiarity bias. So here's how Google defines it. The mere exposure effect in psychology is the idea that people prefer familiar things over unfamiliar things. So people tend to prefer what is familiar, whether in the realm of music, words, foods, business, investments, people, or anything else, right? So the idea is that you just want to become familiar to people. So you want to get people to know, like, and trust you. As I said, you can do all of that stuff through what I told you, like reviews, media features, all of that stuff. And that is something you are going to include in your emails. But here is not really about content itself. It is about having high quality content, but it's more about frequency. It's more about being exposed to people all the time, right? Because when people see your email for the 5th time, they'll trust you more and like you more and know you more than when you saw your email for the first time, right? Unless your content is completely terrible and it really makes you look deceitful and untrustworthy and all that stuff, this is going to be the case. Because even if people don't really read your email, just seeing your name in their inbox is going to get them to trust you more, like you more, and stuff like that, right? Because even though nothing changed, they just saw your email more times. But as I said, people are not really logical. They're more like emotional, all of that stuff. It's more like just in their head. So doing stuff like this is going to help you and it's going to change your business. So the solution here is obviously to not have a welcome flow that's like 1 or 2 emails. It's more like have 5 emails, 6 emails, 7 emails, 8 emails, whatever. They're getting sent over a couple of days. They're getting sent over a week, 2 weeks, whatever. So how to create a high converting welcome flow. Here is the outline. So as I said, we're going to have multiple touch points, and that is going to be the case. So trigger filters, that is technical stuff. We're going to talk about that when it comes to that. But trigger is just you get someone gets added to your email list, and then a filter is placed over 0 times over all time, because we don't want to be delivering a discount to someone who has already purchased from you, right? Now we are going to do like 7 emails. Obviously, this is going to be this stuff can be changed. Right? I'm not saying that you should do this exact thing. This is just a guide. If you don't really have any idea of how to do it, right? You should go for something like this. You can do a shorter flow. You can do a longer flow. Up to you. You can change up the positions, like in the flow of these emails. You can do completely different emails, but this is something like you're going to be safe with this. That's the idea. So email number 1 is going to be just delivering discount. You're going to show your USP, kind of like briefly introduce the brand, show bestsellers, so show social proof. Now you don't have to include all of this stuff. This kind of like these are like the building blocks of your email. You can deliver discount and show USPs and maybe bestsellers, but you're not going to show social proof, for example. Or you can show social proof and bestsellers, but don't really talk about USPs because you don't have them. It's kind of like you're just playing to your strengths. These are building blocks. They're like Lego blocks, Lego bricks, and you're just building your email. That's the idea. Then you're going to wait 1 or 2 days. Then you're going to send another email. It's going to be our story. So you're just going to share the founding story, and then you're going to remind them of a discount, like welcome discount. I hope you're having a welcome discount, please, because if you're not, you're missing out a lot of revenue. Anyway. So this is going to be a common theme in this welcome flow. Every single email is going to have a reminder of a discount, right? Because that's like the sole purpose of your flow. You're going to get people to convert for the first time. That's the idea behind email. You get people to convert for the first time, and then getting them to buy for the second, third, fourth time is going to get easier and easier, and that's how you get your lifetime value up, right? And also CAC is going down because you're just getting them to buy for free, basically, just by sending them emails that cost pennies. Now, email 3, you're going to show bestsellers, so you're going to promote your bestsellers, whatever, and then again, you're going to remind them of a discount. Email 4, us versus them, so you're going to compare yourself to competition. Kind of like this is where your USPs shine, like us versus them. I'm going to show you the exact example I have in mind, but you'll see what I mean, right? And again, you're going to remind them of the discount. Email 5, show social proof, so you can show testimonials, media features, trusted by sections, UGC content, and again, remind them of discount. Now, as I said, you can show social proof in email number 2. Literally, you can go switch this, do show social proof email as number 2, and then our story is number 4, and then number 4 is number 5. You can change things around. This is not really a rule how to do it. I'm just giving you a structure, an idea of how to do it, and then, as I said, you can go change things around what makes sense for your brand more. Maybe you don't really have a lot of social proof, but you really have good USPs, and you have kind of like a strong angle on that side, so you're going to play on that. That's fine. As I said, document is going to be linked in the description. You can just take it and then go follow this guide, and it's going to help you a lot. Email number 6 is going to be kind of like a last chance. We're trying to get some urgency here. So instill urgency, last chance to use the discount. You're going to just keep it simple, remind people of the discount. That's it, nothing else. And then email 7, is going to be email from the founder. So it's going to be a plain text email. You're going to remind people of the discount. You can also do like, do you need any help? You can play some marketing tricks like, we extended your discount because you're new here and we want you to use it. We want you to get the best experience, whatever. I'm going to show examples for all of that. Now, email number 1 is going to be your welcome one, right? This is the first email people receive. So first of all, what you want to do is show the offer immediately, show the discount code immediately, and show the button. So the three of these, this is going to be your holy trinity, right? Needs to be above the fold. What it means is when I open this email on my phone, especially, I can see all of this stuff. So offer, discount code, and button above the fold without scrolling. I open it on my phone. I don't need to scroll. I can read the offer. I can read the discount code, and I can click the button without needing to scroll at all. That's the idea. Now, this email does all that. So it says the offer, save 40%. It tells you what the code is, and it gives you the button, right? What I would like to do is, first of all, I would kind of like change the colors here because this is not really, it doesn't really catch your eye, right? The code especially, it needs to be bigger and it needs to be in a different color so it stands out. And I would make this button bigger. So if you've watched my videos in the past, you'll know that I love big buttons in the emails because it makes it just easier to click. It makes sense to have a bigger button because the whole point of your button is for someone to click it. So just make it as easy to the customer to click it, right? That's my logic, and that's why I need this button. That's why I think this button needs to be at least 2 or 3 times bigger, but still this email is pretty good. Now, this is the hero section, kind of like we have the offer, welcome to Wonky, the offer, welcome code, and CTA. Then moving down, we have the infographic. So infographic that shows their USPs, features, and benefits, all this stuff. This is pretty good. You can see how someone can just come there, read all these like short lines, short points, and get the idea of what Wonky is. There is no big text, big blocks of text. This is where we get the first bigger block of text. But up to here, customer is not getting scared away because there are some big blocks of text. There's too much work to be done. It's just like you're sitting there. Okay, welcome to Wonky. Save 40%. This is discount code. Buy. If you don't want to buy, you can keep scrolling. You scroll. You see this. This is all super simple, super digestible, super easy to consume. There's no need to put a lot of mental effort into it. It's really simple, right? So this, in my opinion, is the best part of their email, this infographic. And I'm going to talk about infographics more, especially in this course. It's a really an elegant way to show people why they should buy from you without really demanding a lot of mental power from them to consume your email, to read, to analyze, whatever. It's super simple. It's like brain dead, right? Then they're sharing their mission here, so we don't really want to read this copy, but whatever, this is something about your brand, some background, background story, whatever. Then they're featuring their bestsellers. Now you can see how they have their CTA here, and you can see it's really small, but you can see, I hope, no, you can't, whatever. You can see how they have their CTA here and they have the discount here. So that's really important. In multiple places of in the email, you need to have your CTAs and your discount code, right? Because let's say someone saw that, didn't want to buy immediately, want to go click, they wanted to read the rest of the email, they're here, right? And now they decide they want to click your email, they want to see what you're offering, right? What they would need to do if there wasn't for this button here, they would need to go scroll up here and find this. That's really difficult. Now, it might sound like it's not, but on the phone, this email is way smaller. So it will take a lot of scrolling to get up to here. People are not going to do that. Also, people are not going to get, like, it's not conscious, right? That's what I'm trying to say. It's not really conscious. People are not going to be like, oh, read this and then scroll. A small percentage of them will, but a lot of people, when they see this button, they will be like, oh yeah, let's click the button. And also when you remind them of discount code, they'll be like, oh yeah, I can save 40%. So that's something you need to do in your emails. Like just have buttons and your discount code in multiple places after every section so people get reminded enough times, right? Then bestsellers, they're featuring their bestsellers, they're showing some bundles. That's fine for their as an AOV play, right? Also, you can see how there are separate CTAs for both packages, whatever. That's really important. So for every single product you have, this kind of like a singular product, you need to have a specific CTA for that product because people are not going to be like see your product and then come to your website and then search for a product. You need to make it as easy as possible for them to buy it, right? One testimonial that's pretty good. You can see Trustpilot reviews. That's it, like super simple. They're not overcomplicated. They don't really have too much copy going on. It's just like this and this. That's the only like big blocks of text that they have. Even this testimonial is not very long. It's interesting to read. So it's a pretty good welcome email in my opinion. Now, email number two, is going to be our story email. So you can see this is from Suds. They're selling soap, super simple brand, but it's a good email. Now you can see no button at the top, no offer, no discount code. That's interesting. It's fine. They can get away with this. I'm going to let them because this email, as I said, would convert much better if they had a CTA at the top, but it's all right since our story email. For these emails, you can get away with not giving like a button above the fold, offer above the fold, CTA above, like code above the fold, all that. It's fine with these emails, but still, I would probably include it. But it's all right. Story is short and doesn't really overwhelm the readers. You can see here. And what I do instead of having a big block of text to make it kind of like overwhelming for the reader, what they do instead is they have icons, kind of like an infographic of icons 2x2. So it's a really effective use of these icons and it's a really effective way to convey what you want to say, nice, elegant manner instead of having like a big block of text that is boring that no one wants to read. So this is pretty good. And that's what you need to do. When I say your story behind your brand, I'm not saying just make like a 10,000 word story because people are not going to read. You just want something that is short, sweet, to the point, that is going to hit home, that is going to get people to relate to you. Maybe we're similar to them, you had the same problem, and then you managed to solve it. And that's how you started your company. Couple of sentences, that's it. Like 100 words, 200 words, that's it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't write thousands of words because people are not going to read it. People don't care about your company as much as you do. So that's it, right? Then we have a discount reminder here. Now, I don't really like it because it's a PS. Don't forget, it's small. It's not really, okay, it's in a different color, so it does stand out a little bit, but I would make it bigger. I would put it here. That's how I would do it. Now, the reason they went for this style is kind of like, hey there, it's from their founders. It's kind of like a plain text email, like a letter, and that's why they're using the PS, but still, I would just go for use codes, this code for this offer, shop now. That's it. Make it as big as possible, right? And it's going to convert. Discount reminder, as I said, needs to be bigger. Bestsellers, that's pretty good. So we have a bestseller section, 2x2. That's probably the best format. You can do 3x2, 2x3, all of that is fine. But 2x2 is going to be the best play for you in most cases. What I would do is I would add this another button here. So the same one, discount reminder. I would just say use code welcome 10 for 10% off your first purchase. Shop now, big button, shop now, right? That's what I would do, honestly. But still, this email is pretty good. Email number 3, promoting bestseller. So discount code and the button are above the fold. You can see the offer is there. Use code 221B15 for 15% off your first purchase. Boom, big button above the fold. Bestsellers, product pick. So this is the bestseller. Bestseller benefits and USPs. Guarantee, so risk aversion, and then discount code and CTA. This email is, in my opinion, perfect. Absolutely perfect. I don't know who created this email. This is really amazing. I would really like to meet that guy. All of that stuff. But still, this email is absolutely amazing. As I said, we have a guarantee, risk reversal. We're sharing some USPs and benefits of the product, but it's not really too much in your face. It's short, sweet. You can see how we have these sections that are like unmatched ventilation, stay cool, stay dry, better performance. So that's kind of like giving you a high level overview. And then if you want to read more information, you have kind of like a little bit more supporting copy down there. That's it. You can see there's not too much copy. It's a lot of visuals as well, but just enough copy to get people information about the product. This email, 10 out of 10. Then email 4, us versus them. So discount banner, reminding you of the discount immediately. This is a really good solution in my opinion. So this can work if you don't really have enough space, or it doesn't really fit the concept of your email. You don't have a nice hero image that would be nice behind your code and offer and CTA. You can do a banner. That's also pretty good. The problem with this banner is kind of like, I don't know, there's too much text. I would just say use this code for 15% off. But okay, it's fine. This is a pretty good solution. As I said, use this if you want to in some of your emails. Then we have an us versus them table. This is pretty good. This is something people love reading. You can see how the design is very good, like how this is in front of this, kind of like has that 3D effect. This is really cool, but still, it's not really about the design. It is about the design, obviously, but it's mainly about this. So it's kind of like 5 points to the point. I'm just going to tell you, this is our brand. These are our USPs. This is why you should buy from us. This is what you're going to get if you go for the competition, but it's up to you to decide, right? That's the angle, and it works flawlessly, I'm sure. Now, we have a testimonial here. We have some copy. That's fine. Reminder of discount. This is how you want to do it. Use code. This is the code for 15% off your first order. Big button. That's how we do it, right? No fucking around. Now you can see they don't have CDA here. They could probably do this same section here as well. That would probably make this email even better. But overall, this is an amazing email. They have like a banner and they don't have a button. There is no really point in telling people there is a banner if you don't have a button for them to go to your website. Actually, so that's the only thing I would change. But overall, this email is probably like a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. This is amazing. So that's the idea. Like, those are the key takeaways. You just have a big button. You remind people of the discount. You're giving some content. It's kind of like fast-paced, testimonial, copy, table, infographic, all of that stuff. People get entertained. They get educated about the brand in a fast-paced manner. They're not wasting time. It's not boring. It's not mediocre. It's like dynamic, and your emails are going to work. Email 5, social proof. So we have discount and the offer visible at the top, so you can see better again, but it's better in this instant because we have a CTA as well. Review in the hero section, so that's something you can do as well. That's pretty good. If you have some sort of an interesting review, you can put it in the hero section, and it's going to work really well because people are going to read immediately. Boom, review. Especially if you sign it with the name of the person who gave you that review, it's going to be even better because it's kind of like UGC content. It's literally like people are going to relate, right? That's the idea. So that's the hero section. Immediately, you can see the discount code, you can see the offer, you can see the CDA, everything about the fold. Sorry. Now, testimonials. So we have 3 testimonials, super nice. You can see how it's all well designed, all of that. 4.9 out of 5, over 2,000 reviews. This is something you can do absolutely. I advise you to do this. Gives you credibility, social proof. Use it if you can. Then we have a couple of testimonials. Now, the thing with testimonials is don't go for testimonials that are just like great product, great company, done. Go for testimonials that are a little bit more specific, that are overcoming some objections, like, oh yeah, I received my product super fast and the packaging was great, and I had this problem, but then I contacted customer support and they solved my issue really fast. They responded in like 2 hours or something like that. Like stuff that is kind of like people are getting concerned about, like, oh, what if it arrives broken? And then you have a testimonials that addresses just like that issue, right? So you can see this one. My skill loves this serum. With only 3 drops, it nourishes my face. At night, I wake up and the skin feels great. The aroma on this serum is also light and has a nice scent. So you can see how it's kind of like the aroma of this serum is also light and has a nice scent. It's kind of like, oh, what if the product works, but it doesn't really smell nice? This testimonial, this review is going to overcome exactly that objection, right? So that's how you're going to pick your testimonials. Don't just pick them like, oh yeah, great product, great company. Now, I understand that some of you guys are not going to have such great testimonials because you're starting out or whatever. That's fine. Use what you can, but still, if you have the opportunity to find great testimonials, don't be lazy, scroll to your testimonials, find something that is actually delivering some value to the customer, not just great company, great email, a great product, whatever, 5 stars, that's it. Go for something that's even if it doesn't overcome the objection, go for something that is a little bit more specific so customers feel like, yeah, this is a real person writing this because it's a really specific situation and I can see that this person actually used this product, right? Again, we have discount and a CDA, that's it. Big CDA, big discount, reminding of the discount, super good. Now, email number 6, last chance. So discount code and the offer visible at the top. You can see better again. Punchy headline with a clear subheadline. So don't let this deal go up in smoke. So we're introducing some urgency, but it's kind of like a nice, funny way, punchy way. It's pretty good. CTA is big. It's clear. It's above default. So you can see save $30 today. Then we have some risk reversal, some guarantees. So fast, discreet shipping, safe and secure checkout, 30-day free return. So if you don't like your product, you can return it. If you offer stuff like this, mention it in your email. Don't be like, oh yeah, by the way, we offer a 60-day guarantee, no questions asked, stuff like that. If you have such a good offer, which I hope you do, mention it in your email. Like, why not, right? It's one of your USPs, so mention it. Bestsellers, so we can see again 2x2 bestseller section, and then the same thing, code is CTA. That's what I told you about. You have a section, product section. Every single product has its own CTA, boom, boom, boom. And then after that product section, if people don't really want to buy any of these, they can go and find other products, right? So that's the way you should go about your welcome flow. Like you have your CDAs, main CDAs that are going to direct people to your homepage, bestsellers page, your landing page, whatever, and then you're reminding them of the discount. That's kind of going to be the main building block of your welcome email. Email 7 is going to be plain text from the founder. So I just gave you some sort of a template here that you can use. Obviously, you're going to adjust it based on your brand voice, whatever. But I'm just going to give you a framework to follow. So, hey, first name, just wanted to check in real quick. Is there anything you need help with before placing an order? So this kind of like for the people, after I sent you like 7 emails over 10 days and you still haven't bought, I'm just going to be like, hey, like, is everything okay? Do you need any help? Are there any objections that you're not really sure about? Anything that I can help you with, right? That's the idea. And it's also coming from the founder, so it feels way more personal. So like imagine you're sitting there, you subscribe to some brand, you're receiving their emails, and then at some point you receive an email from the founder that looks like he literally just sat at his computer and wrote it and sent it to you, and he's asking like, hey, are there any problems, right? By the way, this hey first name is not going to be a thing because I hope after you watch my video about Pop-Form, you're not collecting first names on your Pop-Form, you're just collecting emails, because collecting first names is going to absolutely crush your opt-in rate, right? But still, this is just, I put it here for, I don't know why. Anyway, just wanted to check in real quick. Is there anything you need help with before placing your order? Choosing the right product, understanding ingredients, shipping questions, whatever it is, his reply, and I'll help out. So basically, just helping them realize if they have any problems, right? What am I concerned about with this brand? Why have I not placed the order yet? Now, we're switching on to the next section. So also, I noticed you haven't used your welcome discount yet. It was supposed to expire yesterday, but I've gone ahead and extended it for 24 more hours in case you got busy. So imagine you subscribe to a brand and you receive an email from the founder himself, a plain text email telling you, hey, I saw your discount was about to expire, so I decided to extend it personally. Like I did it. I went into Shopify and extended your discount only for you for 24 more hours in case you were busy, right? What would that make you feel? Like you'd probably be like, okay, I'm special. This brand actually treats its customers in a very special way. Obviously, people are going to know. Some people are going to be like, okay, like obviously it's an automated message. Obviously, this founder did not go and waste his time extending codes for people, right? This is marketing, right? You're trying to frame things in a different way. You're trying to play some different angles. That's the idea. Like, welcome to marketing. If this is unethical, weird to you, whatever, this is marketing. Welcome to this world. Like, if you don't know that this stuff should be done this way, I don't know why you're running your business, or why you're running your marketing. You can run your business, give someone to run your marketing, whatever. Anyway, your code, welcome 10, shop now. You're just reminding them of the code. You're giving them a CTA. Again, this CTA, I would just make it bigger. So if this font is like size 16, make this size 18, just to make it stand out more, because that's the whole point of the email. No pressure, just talk. You'd appreciate the extra time. That's it. So you're going to sign, and then PS section. So in every single email, especially in these high intent emails that are actually geared toward making a sale, you need to have a PS section, because after the first line, after the subject line, whatever, PS section is going to be the most read line in every single email. So why not use that to your advantage and remind people of the discount code? So use code welcome 10 and check out for 10% off your first order. This is a link, obviously, and people can click it, right? That's the idea. As I said, this doc is going to be in the description. You can just copy and paste this into your Klaviyo and set it up, change it up, whatever, based on your brand voice, your voice, how you speak, put a name, all of that, and you'll be fine. You just have an email. So key takeaways, as I said. First of all, you need to remind the customer of the discount in every single email. That is really important, because people need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. Like, yeah, you told them that they have a discount with you in the first email, but by the third email, they forgot about it. They're not thinking about it. It's not about that they completely forgot about it and that it got erased from their memory. It's just about they're not thinking about it. They're in zombie mode, as I said. You need to remind them multiple times in every single email, not just once, like 2-3 times. You have like, hey, use this code. This is the CDA, right? That's the idea. Then have a short time delay in between emails, 1 or 2 days. In most cases, I would just go for 1 day between most emails, and then you can do like an occasional 2-day wait. Also, always have a big button above the fold. Deliver the first email immediately, no time delay. So always have a big button above the fold. We talked about that already. You can get away with not doing it for like our story email, for example, but still in most emails where you can do it, do it. Always have a big button above the fold. So it's important it's big and it's also above the fold. Those are two things. So don't forget any of those. Deliver the first email immediately, no time delays. Super simple. I hope all of you guys know that. No need to do like, yeah, wait 15 minutes, wait 2 minutes till they get their inbox or stuff like that. Immediately they sign up, they get an email. Use infographics instead of copy whenever possible. So we saw the example with Dash, for example, and those kinds of brands. So instead of having a big block of copy, a big block of text that people are not really going to read, what you can do instead, create infographics like icons. Actually, we're going to have a video, a module in this course about specifically copywriting and infographics and all this stuff. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean, but like tables, icons, us versus them, stuff like that, right? Is going to be amazing for your brand, amazing for your emails, because people don't really like reading copy that much, but they love looking at infographics. Make emails simple. Don't overload them with too much info. That's exactly why we send multiple emails over the span of a couple of days. So the idea is don't put all of the information about your brand, like all the testimonials and all the bestsellers you have and all the USPs and the code and all that in one email. The idea is like, we have this email for this purpose, and this email is going to talk about this topic, about bestsellers, and this email is going to talk about testimonials. You have a couple of emails with a couple of topics, right? And that's the idea. Don't put everything in one email, because when you put too much stuff, people are not going to read anything. When you put a little bit of stuff, people are going to read everything, right? Super simple. Show the discount code above every main CTA in the email. Have it in multiple places, not just above the fold. People need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. Already covered this. I hope this is super clear. So those are kind of like key takeaways. If you follow all this stuff, your welcome flow is going to be amazing, right? So if you want to learn how to scale your email marketing, if you need a little bit more help with scaling your email marketing, you can book a call with me to get a free Klaviyo account audit completely for free from me, not some Indian, not someone from Pakistan, nothing against those guys. I'm just saying. So we're going to see if we can help you scale your brand on a purely performance basis with email marketing. That means that you only pay on results, no risk for you. So if you see we're a good fit after this call, we're going to give you an offer and we're going to scale your email marketing on a purely performance basis, which means that you only pay on added revenue. So we generate 50K for you. You're going to pay a small percentage of that, and that's it. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep an eye for my other modules that are going to be going out for this free e-commerce email marketing course. Bye.